Hello and welcome to On the Kerbs. I'm your host, Timo Albers Daily. Joining me this week is Swedish Rally Cross Champion Klara Andersson. We caught up recently to chat about how it felt to win the title in 2021 after coming so close in 2020, her flirtation with Extreme E earlier this year, her racing plans for the rest of 2022 in the FIA World RX Championship, and much more. So, without any further ado, let's just get straight into it, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. So, hi Klara, thank you for being here today. First of all, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Lovely to be here. How are you?
It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm quite good, thank you. So, first thing I like to ask everyone who I talk to on here, what first got you interested in motorsport?
Well, I think I come from a typical motorsport family. Both my mom and dad actually met in a rallycross race back in the 90s and fell in love. And then both me and my sister started with go-karts when we were 7 and 9 years old. So it was quite natural to enter the motorsport world and see if we liked it. And yeah, we both did, and then we are here.
I'm going to say both of you still racing then, definitely in the family.
Yeah, exactly.
So then, kind of, like you say, you've always been in this racing family, but then it was kind of the last few years where things have really picked up for you, which is nice because you have that foundation, and it's nice to know that it goes somewhere then as well. And then in 2020, you were junior Swedish vice champion in the Swedish Rally Cross, and again, 1 point away from the top spot. You happy with that, or were you quite frustrated, or both?
Well, at the time, I began with Rallycross when I was 18, so it was just my third year in the discipline. So for sure, I was happy to be fighting for the gold medal, of course. But in that moment, I think I was like a few thousandths of a second from the gold medal. It came down to the final lap of the final race of the final. So it was so close. So back then I was devastated. I knew that my goal in motorsport is bigger than just the junior Swedish championship. But when you are competitive, yeah, and it's just like 1 point. But yeah, I got over it. And then I had some more fortune last year. So.
Well, yes, and we'll get into that saying it's I think the one thing you can definitely take away from 2020 is that at least you can say that it's tricky. You can't even say like, oh, I need to improve here or here. It's just like you were that close. So it's like you're almost there, and it's like there's nothing you could have really done to do that. It's just how it happened, unfortunately.
Exactly, because me and the guy who it came down with, he's a brilliant driver. He's like one of the best I've faced, and we both had our highs and lows of the season. So in Rallycross particularly, you can always tell what if I had a better quali in the second race of the year, or what if it hadn't started to rain in my final that race. It's always, it comes down to just details, and sometimes you don't have the luck on your side, and sometimes you do.
At least, I mean, some kind of silver lining is that at least it was a great driver that did get the top spot, and it wasn't just someone who just lucked their way in and just frustrating.
Exactly. I remember saying that if I were to lose to one driver that year, it would be him. So
we'll move on.
Yeah.
So then you were saying, yes, last year you had a lot of better time in that respect, and you were Swedish Rally Cross Champion. Tell us about that whole experience and how it felt to become champion then.
Well, actually, if we go way back to the pre-season testing before the season last year, I had the best feeling I've ever had in my BMW back then. And the times were better than they've ever been before. And I got so excited for the premiere at Helios. And then when we came there, it was pouring down rain and we couldn't find pace whatever we tried. We struggled with grip, we struggled with just everything basically. And I think I left the race back in 11th or 18th place, I think.
Great feeling.
And that was, yeah. And that was a double header as well. So it was 2 races that just went not how we expected or wanted it to happen. So then we needed to do our homework, and then
describing that.
yeah, and then like we did our homework, we came back stronger, and then every race from there on was just like to gather points, try to fight back, enjoy driving, and yeah, it happened. So it was a really, really big season for me, especially in Alvika, where I did a clean sweep, and everything just felt so good. And it was a really good.
That maybe this is on, or was it a bit later on where you thought, okay, surely?
I think like as a driver, you get like a feeling after FP1 on each race weekend. You either feel like, okay, this will be a challenge, or okay, this might go really, really good. And I remember feeling confident already in FP1. And then I never enjoyed driving so much as I did that weekend. And I think that's a key to be relaxed as a driver and find the last few tenths.
Definitely. Because then it's just kind of, it feels like just a natural extension of you then almost, and you don't have to, you're not worried as such about everything. You're just like, yeah, it's fine.
Exactly. It felt like we could conquer everything. So it was a lovely weekend.
And how did it feel then when you were champion in the end? Because you had this long year and everything to get up to that point. What was that feeling like?
Oh, it was like the best, one of the best days of my life, for sure. Like I remember when my dad is my spotter in the Swedish Championship, and he told me like on the radio that I was Swedish champion and that the points it was clear and confirmed, but I didn't really believe it. And then when I jumped out of the car and got to the report of the Swedish television, he said that I was a champion, and then I started to believe it, and it was such a big feeling because it was my, what was it, 4th year in Rallycross, and like the Swedish Championship, especially in that class, is really, really competitive. I think there were like 55 or 56 attendants last year. So I knew how difficult it is to become that champion. So yeah, I was just so happy.
Swedish Rallycross before, you think, Christ, I'm there now. Yeah. I'm on that list.
Exactly. So, and just to do that with my family and my team as well, like, yeah, it was really, really nice.
Did you wake up the next morning thinking, did that just happen? Was I dreaming? Or was you kind of just like calm?
Yeah. No, I was like happy for days. I was like high on life. It was, yeah, such a nice feeling.
And then this year you were meant to be racing in Extreme back in Saudi Arabia whenever that the first round of the season was. It seemed like a long time ago now, but for Excite Energy. But then last minute you got COVID, really annoying. A, how did the drive with Excite come about? And B, are we going to see you again at some point this season?
Well, it was like just devastating to like get that positive COVID test, because I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't see it coming at all. Like I didn't know that I have been in contact with anyone who tested positive or anything. So I was really, really devastated because I did the rookie invitational test last year and it felt great. And then I was really looking forward to, getting in the Excite car with Ollie and try to race it. And actually I got the call just a few weeks before and got really hyped and had a great feeling with the team and everyone involved. So
quite a roller coaster.
Yeah, it was quite a roller coaster, and we will see what happens this year. I knew that the Saudi race was supposed to be in February, and since I am mostly a Rallycross driver, I knew that my focus this year would be the World RX Championship. So we will see what happens, if we could combine it in some way, but I would really love to race in Extreme. I think it's a great championship, and would love to have a shot at it.
And so the lucky thing about that one is that because there's so few races and they're so spread out during the year, that even if, for example, you don't get to go for it in Sardinia for the doubleheader there's still 3 more and they're really nicely spaced out. So we never know.
Exactly. And the people at Extreme are lovely, and it would be nice to meet them again.
Go and take on Johan, Michaela.
Exactly.
So then, talking of what you are doing this year, you'll be racing in the FIA World RX for the dealer team, and you'll be racing the brand new electric RX-1E supercar. How did you pull that one off, and what are your plans for the season?
Well, so last year was truly like magical, both like winning the Swedish Rally Cross Championship and then being able to do my debut in RX2E at Spa-Francorchamps and later on Nürburgring, and also the extreme test. It was just like, it was so big, everything. It was like, I was 21 years old at the time. I was just like making my way out internationally, and everything just worked out really well. And then that was what gave me this chance to be introduced to the construction equipment dealer team and get that deal. So yeah, I couldn't thank like the people who helped me and everyone that made last season happen, because that's what made me be able to drive World RX this year. And it will be like, it was my childhood dream. Like, I think I visited Höljes, the Swedish Rallycross track, when I was 11 for the first time. And since then I knew that Rallycross, that's where I want to go. It's just a beautiful sport, and now I'm here, so I'm super happy.
So it's nice to be able to trace that line through from when you started to where you are now, and just be like that extra level of satisfaction.
Yeah, no, I still barely can't believe it. Like, I've known about it for a while now.
The first day when you're actually there in person with the helmet on.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe when I'm the start grid between like Johan Kristoffersson and Niklas Granholm, then maybe I will believe it. Yeah, no,
what do I do?
Yeah. No, it's a dream come true, and I'm super excited.
So then on that kind of thought process, are you then just seeing what happens this year and we'll just take it as it comes, or you got a firm plan in mind of what you want to achieve?
Yeah, no, we have a clear vision, like both me and the team, of what we want to achieve, both on and off the track. But like competitive wise, of course, I am competitive and I always want to perform my best and score as much points as I have, get the best times that I could. But we have a clear plan that the most important thing for me this year is just to develop as a driver and feel, you know, the safety in the new environment, in a new car, in the new team, and just see what happens, but be really humble to the new challenge and take it from there.
Now everyone's going to underestimate you and they're going to come out flying and be on the podium straight away.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, you know. But yeah, I know that I will be racing the world's best rallycross drivers. So yeah, I'm humble to that. But of course, I want to perform as well.
So you'll come up to a point, I feel like, and then again, when the race starts, maybe less so, like, right, I'm going to beat you now. I'm coming.
Exactly. No, as soon as the helmet is on, all I see is want to perform the very best I can. So.
Then, so is there a particular moment in your racing career so far that was the most difficult for you, and how did you overcome that?
I think actually, since I did karting when I was younger, I did it between I was 7 and 13, if I remember correctly. And in 2013, I was supposed to race the JRX, the new junior class in Rallycross that my sister Magda raced. But the class like disappeared. There wasn't enough people wanted to race. So then I was like 13 years old and didn't have nowhere to go because like we had taken the step from karting and was focusing a lot on Rallycross. My sister have been starting to drive really much, and it actually made me have a 5-year gap from motorsports and just be a spectator and supporter for my sister. And I learned a lot from that. Like I was at all the races I could between school and walked all the tracks, trying to listen in, learn as much as I can, because I knew that I would be back and this is what I want to do. But it was really, really difficult, especially in that time of your life, like in the team. It's difficult to.
So you say about everything happening at once last year, kind of the same again, but the opposite way, in almost.
Exactly. Like I had 5 years of not racing a thing, and it was really difficult. But yeah, when 2018 happened, then I knew that okay, now I'm gonna start again. It was like, I think it actually made me stronger, even if it was really difficult at the time.
I'll say from the outside looking in, I mean, not necessarily me, but from someone who isn't motorsport involved, you think 13, oh, she's sad that she's not racing for 5 years and she thinks it's all over, and it's kind of bizarre to have that thought. But again, it makes sense because, again, like you say, from a racing family, you've always done this, and then it's suddenly not there. And I'm guessing that was kind of your main focus. There were probably other interests you had, but that was kind of like your main thing. What the hell do I do now? Like, oh, school. No,
exactly. It was like who am I? What am I supposed to do? It's like motorsport has always been such a big part of my life and everyone in my family's life. So yeah, it was like a big thing just getting ripped out of your life. And but yeah, I still supported my sister, and I really liked to be with her at her races and just learn.
And sneak and swap places with her for the odd race here or there.
Yeah, we are very, very similar, so maybe I could have managed that.
But at the same time, it makes, like you were saying, 2018 and then everything from then till now that bit extra satisfying that you probably think like halfway through that 5-year gap, you probably think there are probably some thoughts were like, come on, this has got to happen at some point, and you just those thoughts coming at you. But with everything now, it's kind of perfectly 180'd again.
Yeah, I think it sounds cheesy, but I think everything happens for a reason. So yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's going all right for you now, so
Yeah, it's going well.
So then, is there a fun racing story that you can share that people might not know about?
Ooh, okay, so I thought about this question a lot, and I have some fun stories back in the karting days because we were so young and everything. And I remember when I was like maybe 8 or 9 years old, like I've always been a bad loser. Like I hate to lose, I love to win. It's just always been like that since I was a baby. Yes. And then I remembered one race. I can't remember where it was, but we were driving like these tiny go-karts that you were allowed to race when we were like 8 or 9. And I think I got taken out in the start, or something bad happened, and I got like very, very down the field. So then at the like prize ceremony, because everyone got trophies because we were so young, I remember just to encourage us. And I remember taking my tiny little trophy and just take some tools and like tear it apart. It sounds really bad, but I remember I was so like, I don't know, upset and a bad loser. So then I just left it there at our bus and then just heads down for the next race.
You want the proper thing or nothing at all.
Yeah, exactly. I was just a really bad loser back then.
I say, is that, are you better at losing now, or are you like terrible on game night at your house?
Oh, game night is always the worst. Like we love to compete, everyone in my family. So like when we have quiz games or everything, it's always a bit heated, but we're family, so that's fine. But now like for the races and stuff, I learned to just take everything as a new learning experience. But of course, you never want to lose. Yeah, exactly.
What is it about off-roading and rallying that you just love so much?
Oh, that's a good question. Like, since I come from circuit racing and I thought that was really fun, but I always knew that I wanted to go over to Rallycross. And I just love the unpredictable side of it. It's like intense. You never know what's going to happen with the conditions of the track or with the races next to you on the grid. It's just so unpredictable and intense and explosive in any way. And also that comes with like rallying and Extreme E, for example. It's just so nice that it's challenging in every area that I like both condition wise and just.
If you have one bad day, that's not guaranteed if you do the exact same bit the next day.
Exactly. And like in Rallycross, if it just starts to rain a tiny bit and then it dries up, like changes the conditions completely, and it's a completely new track from one race to another. It's just so unpredictable, and yeah, it's always nice to go a bit sideways also.
Have you in drifting next?
Yeah, exactly. We'll see.
So then now a few fun questions that aren't really motor racing related at all to finish off. So these are the questions that usually catch everyone out, which is always good fun. So, what's your favourite film and why?
Ooh, that's a really tricky question. But I think yeah, exactly. You can answer every motorsport question, but these are the tough ones. But I think I must say I'm a big Harry Potter fan. Like I was when I was a little girl, and I always like enjoyed the films and the books and everything. So I must say the Harry Potter series and mostly the fourth film.
Okay, fourth. So I was going to say, we're going to be mean and make you choose, but you beat me to it.
Yeah. No, all films are good, but I always fancied the fourth one.
Is that Robert Pattinson related, or is that just generally the film?
No, I think it was nice, like with the labyrinth and everything started to happen with the you know who and everything like that.
And completely different again, which is a classic question for me, but I like doing this. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or a horse-sized duck?
Oh God. I think ducks are quite scary, to be honest. I don't know why. But yeah. So I think the first option, what was that?
That was 100 duck-sized horses. So
yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I think that one.
You can get more of the small ones.
Yes.
And finally, do you have any celebrity crushes?
Oh, I don't actually.
You're just saying that.
No, I wish I did, but no, I think I'm just,
Can be focused. Maybe that'll get you in murkier water, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, I don't really see like people that way. I'm just so focused on, performance and everything competitive wise. So no, yeah, I only see them as competitors.
Fair enough. I'll let you get away with that one.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today, and I want to wish you best of luck for everything that you've announced that you're doing and everything you've not yet announced you're doing for 2022, because we don't know everything yet, probably, hopefully anyway. And it's been great to speak with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks again to Klara for coming on to the Kerbs with me. It was a great chat, and I hope to have her back on again at some point in the future. I'll take this chance to wish her good luck again for the rest of 2022 and beyond. Join me again soon when I'll be chatting to another famous face from the world of motorsport. And in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and check out the other videos on the On the Kerbs YouTube channel. And listen to me talk about Formula 1, amongst other things, over on the Undercut podcast, also on YouTube. Away from here, you can follow me over on Instagram at t.albers.daily.onthekerbs and read my various motorsport articles over on Is It Fast, Paddock Sorority, and Supercar Blondie. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next week for the next episode.